All right, look, no fancy intro, none of that shit. We gonna get right to the sauce. I'm fresh off work, got off work early. Shout out to Danny from the stop. He dropped a new breakdown of the Patreon. It's a mess. You know what? Being a long time Joe Budden podcast listener, I fuck with Joe on some podcast shit, and I fuck with him on some rap shit my whole life. I'm from Jersey. Like, if you're a real Jersey nigga, niggas got love. And like, I'm from South Jersey, he from North Jersey. Niggas got love for Joe Buttons because he put on for New Jersey in general. You know what I mean? Let's make it loud and clear. Jersey's here, there, shit like that. So Danny is breaking it down, and like, I could be hard on Danny from the stop. If you're not familiar with his YouTube channel, check out his content, because I do fuck with the content. Do I feel like Danny could be biased sometimes? Yeah, but this one, he wasn't too critical. It wasn't too much hating shit. Sometimes Danny getting his hating bag, I don't want to hear that. He wasn't in his hating bag, for real, for real. Me and him have different opinions when it comes to like cast members on the podcast, and some of the opinions we got the same, but he, like, sometimes he could go too hard, no diddy. And he didn't do that this episode, I ain't gonna lie. This is Danny from the Stop Breakdown Patreon. So basically, if you're a Joe Budden podcast fan, listener, whatever, y'all remember when Joe was introducing Mark Lamont Hill coming to the show, right? I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm not doing like a long ass video, but I gotta give y'all my opinion on it because I'm a Joe Budden podcast nerd, bro. So Joe was like, yeah. He's talking to the cast, and now Mark Lamont Hill is here. So he's like, yeah, y'all had the stink face. Y'all had faces. Y'all look mad that Lamont Hill was here, right? And Ish was on some shit like, nah, niggas wasn't mad. I wasn't mad when Flip came. I wasn't mad when Melissa came, da-da-da-da. Now, Danny in his video, he break down times that Ish had issues. Now, Danny feel like, oh, Ish having these early issues with Flip goes to show that he ain't want Flip there. I just think Flip is, like, respectfully, Flip is kind of annoying with shit, bro. Sometimes that nigga act too tough and he kind of obnoxious type shit. He don't know how to be like chill type shit. And like, sometimes he act too tough. And the clip that Danny played, it's like checking shit like, nigga, you not the toughest nigga in the world. And that's how you supposed to handle that shit. Like, I have handled shit like that where, like, I'm a carefree dude. Like, I be chilling, but like, don't play no tough shit with me, because I'm gonna let you know, like, I'm with whatever you with, bro. I get on that level type shit. So the key point of all this shit is, did Joe bring Mark Lamont Hill to the show to help the other podcasters get better on the show? Or did he bring Mark Lamont Hill to the show to possibly replace them or put them in a position to where they feel like, yeah, Mark Lamont Hill is needed on this show? Now, I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, if you watch my other videos, I'm a warehouse worker. So I ain't gotta be on no flexing shit. I'm a big ass Joe Buttons fan. Always have my whole life type shit. Like, I ain't gonna tell you the story. I met him at the Deptford Mall. This was mad years ago. I was a young boy. I tried to rap to this nigga the whole time, spitting bars. That nigga did not care. He probably was high. Back then, he used to get high type shit. But I was rapping for like 30 minutes following this nigga just rapping. I know that sounds egregious. A nigga's trying to get a deal, bro. I was young, bro. But anyway, if you watch that show, and like I said, I'm biased. My favorite people on the show is Joe Buttons and Ish. Like, it is what it is. Like, some of the cast, they do all right. I'm not a fan of Melissa Ford. I'm not really a fan of Mark Lamont Hill neither. And it's Ice is hit or miss. Flip is like hit or miss. Amani, I'm not really a fan of Amani type shit, right? Joe is a fucking snarky ass fucking guy, bro. He did not bring that person. He did not bring Mark Lamont Hill on the show to make the cast better. He felt like the show needed Mark Lamont Hill. And I don't care what none of y'all other Joe Budden podcast niggas say. I don't care what y'all say in the spaces. I don't care what y'all say in the comments. Yo, bro, this show do not need Mark Lamont Hill, bro. It didn't. In certain aspects, the Ish need to get better. Yeah, but the nigga's not a podcaster, and he don't come from the entertainment world. So, of course, it's going to take him a long-ass time. Ice, too. But, like, Mark Lamont Hill, like, Joe thought he was bringing something up there. Listen, I'm going to give y'all my real opinions. I ain't going to try to be too theatrical, but if you know me in real life, I'm really like this. He thought that nigga Mark Lamont Hill was gonna surpass Ish. Nigga, you was tweaking, bro. And I know for a fact Joe Buttons thought that, bro. You can't replace Ish on that show. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Joe Buttons could carry a show by itself. Don't get me wrong. We just talking about the group of podcasters. Hey, yo, bro. You lucked up being able to double back and get a nigga like Ish after Rory and Maul left. Not so much Maul, but Rory. That nigga Ish is a blessing on the podcast. Ain't no getting around it, bro. Whether you agree with his points or not, he got some of the most viral moments on the show. He the only one that really is willing and he's willing to do it, and he can articulate himself in a good way where he could really go at Joe and shit like that and call Joe out on his bullshit and stand on shit type shit. Nigga, that nigga Mark Lamont Hill, Joe thought he was doing something, nigga, that shit scattered. Nah. He ain't do I think Mark Lamont Hill is an addition to the show? Well, of course, he's an addition to the show. He on the show. That nigga I'm not saying Mark Lamont Hill more valuable to the show or even better than Ice. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say about Ice. And I ain't even know Ice Avenger like that, bro. That nigga's not that better than Ice, bro. So, yeah, if y'all really remember the episodes, Joe was on some shit like, yeah, it's going to be able to give niggas, even Ish talked about it. Yo, Joe said it was going to be able to give people more vacation time. Ish said, we ain't getting the vacation time. Joe was like, nah, but everything was meshing. You know, Joe is he's so, and I fuck with Joe. I'm gonna just keep it real. Yo, when Joe do shit like that shit is so fucking lame to me, bro. Because he really thought that he was gonna be able to, I'm not saying I'm in a business, but maybe when it comes to like negotiating contracts and shit like that, he could bring Mark Lamont Hill in, he could fill in, and these motherfuckers have off, so he ain't got to pay him for the episodes type shit. Nigga, that shit did not work, bro. Yo, I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. When Ish not on the podcast, that shit don't hit the same, bro. I don't care what Joe say. I don't care what nobody say, bro. This shit do not hit the same, bro. I just was ready to skip multiple episodes when that nigga tore his ACL and had to go to Cali and get a surgery, bro. This shit is just ass, bro. My nigga Ish, he got one of the most annoying laughs of all time. But like, nigga, ain't no surpassing that nigga, bro. It like, you can't surpass that nigga, bro. Like, you just can't. Hold up, let's go in the house real quick. Like, Ish is such a valuable asset to the fucking show. Like, and a lot of y'all, like, especially when it comes to like the fans and shit like that, they have like a lot of animosity towards Ish. I don't know why. Like, I used to feel like Danny had like a lot of hate towards Ish type shit. Like, and it would be weird to me. Like, Danny was really critical on Ice and Ish, but Ish didn't deserve it. Like, Danny was wrong for that. And to Danny's credit, he has been pulled back from that, and he has been giving Ish like way more credit type shit. You know what I mean? But like, nah, bro, that Mark Lamont Hill shit ain't what it is. That's not, like, and he was brought there to replace. Now, can Mark Lamont Hill replace Melissa Ford? Yeah, because a woman's voice is not necessary on that show. But to be fair, Melissa Ford can't carry a show. Like, she just can't carry a show. It is what it is. So it's like, when you listen to a podcast and Joe has these toxic ass moments, it's like a couple things Joe does, and like, I could be biased in these situations. I'm gonna share them with y'all because I could be being biased, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean, like, just because you biased with something doesn't mean that you're wrong. So Joe with the Mark Lamont Hill shit is really fucking annoying. Then Joe always kind of trolling with how much money they make. To me, as a listener, I don't give a fuck how much money they make. I'm just there for like the entertainment. So I want people to be able to make as much money as possible for them to stay on the show, certain characters. But like, him always bringing up money and like Flip always bringing up money, like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Y'all got to remember, y'all got forklift operators like me drive and listen to y'all. We not trying to hear it. Like, we trying to have a nice little vibe at work, and y'all providing us with entertainment. But when y'all talk about that shit is a dead topic. It just is. And then Joe, like I said, I'm not trying to like, cause like when I started this channel, it's just like a small reaction type joint. I mainly react to Danny from the Stop and Joe Buttons podcast and shit. So like, I never try to like, I just give a critique, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to come off harsh, but like, Joe doing shit with the Mark Lamont Hill, I wish he would stop bringing up the topic, because Joe, you was corny and you was wrong. You thought that niggas was less valuable than what they are. The nigga Ish is that nigga, bro. It is what it is. On that podcast and in podcasting in general, Ish is that nigga. You know what else Joe does? It's two things. One includes Flip. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about me. I do got a white girlfriend, so y'all can say I'm being biased. I have been in relationships with black women, but y'all could say I'm being biased, and it's okay, because like, I got a white girlfriend, so I can relate to Ish, right? When Joe and Flip, they try not to do it as much. When they bring up the fact that Ish got a white girlfriend, it irks me. You know why? Joe is not with a black woman. Flip wife is like Caribbean or from an island or something like that. Yo, if you're familiar with those cultures, they don't consider themselves black Americans. They don't consider themselves to be equal to us or like us. They got two different cultures. So as quick as they could come at Ish for having a white girl, y'all not with a black woman? If you play Tevin Campbell around a black woman, of course they know who she is. I mean, he is, my fault. I said she because the boy Mo, but like, no disrespect. But like, if you play, like, it's some shit that you grow up to when you a black person, a black American. Fucking Joe Buttons' Dominican girlfriend not gonna know none of them fucking songs. And neither is fucking Flip's Caribbean wife. So while they coming at Ish for having a white girl, she probably know the songs more than them. The fuck is we talking? Like, why you even bring up that point? That point makes no sense. Nigga, y'all, like, I don't know where y'all live at. Dominican motherfuckers be real fucking racist, bro. There's a lot of different Hispanic cultures that be real racist, and I got Hispanic friends. I'm talking about like the history of the culture. Y'all don't even know why gangs were started in New York. Well, the gangs got started in New York because the Puerto Rican niggas was stabbing up all the black niggas in prison. They had to come together because the Puerto Ricans had the numbers and the black niggas was segregated off. So one nigga read a book and he was like, yo, we on this type time. That's how the gangbanging shit started in New York and trickled down to North Jersey. It didn't really get down to South Jersey like that, but that's how that shit really got popping out here for protection against Hispanics. Like, I don't know what the fuck Joe Buttons be talking about when he bring up, or Flip talking about, like, y'all wives ain't black. They probably, and I don't want to do it in a disrespectful way, because like I said, I be holding Danny accountable for it, but that's just a little thing. Like, yo, they not black. They family members don't consider themselves black. Flip wife probably listen to fucking Sean Paul and fucking, and Joe wife probably listen to fucking Bad Bunny, bro. Ish wife probably listen to hip hop type shit. And she probably listen to Taylor Swift too. But I'm just saying, she probably know more about black culture than them because they don't come from black culture either. Point number 2. Yo, and like I said, I have held Danny from the stop accountable for this. So I ain't even trying to be on no hating shit. But it's just like little pet peeves. And like I said, y'all gotta remember, I said I could be being biased because I relate to these situations. But the way the niggas carry it, like, I got niggas that's on the opposite end of it and they don't carry it like that. So Joe will always bring up this girl dad shit, right? I'm the father of 2 daughters, right? I got an older daughter, younger daughter, right? All my daughters play sports. Yo, when that nigga Joe bring up girl dads, respectfully, that nigga act like his sons is lumberjacks, Army Rangers, NBA players in the league. They got D1 scholarships. Like, he be talking like he raised these sons that's like Thor or Adonis or Black Panther. Like, nigga, you got sons, okay, but like, they don't even play sports. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Like, a lot of times when people be like, yeah, times are softer now in America. I'm not saying this about Joe kids. Well, why times are softer? Because the young niggas is softer than the fucking women, bro. So when niggas come at girl dads, they're like, well, what your son do? He just a nigga out here. Ain't no alpha male type shit. Like, not to use that terminology, but it's just like, niggas like, oh, girl dad this. I should put up this little fucking drawing right here. Get the sun on my eyes. But like, I hate that girl dad shit from niggas that just got a son. A nigga just out here going to class. Like, nigga, you can't, like, nigga, don't tell me about your son. He don't play no sports. Don't tell me about your son. He can't dunk no basketball. Don't tell me about your son if he can't box, do jujitsu. He not doing taekwondo. This nigga not doing, it's just a nigga with a dick, no ditty. I ain't trying to hear about this shit, bro. That shit always, it don't irk me on the highest level, but I'm like, yo, bro, like I have a father, I'm a son. Like, my dad was drilling the fuck out of me, no diddy, like playing sports and being able to fight and shit like that. Joe don't seem like he raising his kids like that, bro. So it ain't like he got these alpha male sons, big as Brock Lesnar, running around for him to be like, oh, you a girl dad. When, especially in society, especially when you talking about black women, sometimes the black women carry it stronger than the niggas, bro. Niggas be soft as fuck, bro. I ain't really trying to hear it, bro. Like, but other than that, that topic was a little touchy topic, and it's just corny because, like, y'all might have watched CNN or whatever the fuck Mark Lamont Hill was on. The average nigga that fuck with Joe Buttons, and then like a lot of us, it's not just me, a lot of us is like truck drivers, warehouse workers, shit like that. Nigga, a lot of us, like, I consume political shit, bro, but I try to view it from non-biased stations. So a nigga like Mark Lamont Hill, I swear, like, I ain't got a reason. A lot of y'all niggas, I never seen Mark Lamont Hill in my fucking life, bro. And I could go ask all my niggas, they wouldn't know no fucking Mark Lamont Hill. I might be able to ask my mom. I'll probably ask my mom. She might know who the boy is. So like, he ain't bring no value to the fucking show. For like, even when Mark Lamont, yo, this nigga had the nerve. You know what? I ain't gonna say that because he did make a point where it was like, yeah, at some points it wasn't no B mic for Joe. So Joe couldn't, like, niggas was good at answering topics, but not bringing up topics. Okay, to a certain extent, Mark Lamont Hill got a point, but then when it's a lot of times, Melissa Ford struggled with this mad times. She bring up something and Joe clowning shit. It's like, well, when niggas try it, you play it. But then it's been times niggas try to bring up shit and then Joe play it, but then Joe bring it up. So it's just like, well, it's your show, so you supposed to carry it. You Jordan, these niggas just BJ Armstrong, Horace Grant, and Scottie Pippen type shit. Like, when it comes to podcasting. But my nigga Ish, like, I don't know why he gets so much hate from the community. And like, listening to the pod and listening to Joe and Ish share stories, Joe, I think it's Joe. And like I said, I'm a big Joe Buttons fan. He got this competitive shit with Ish. So like, even on this show, it's like I feel like he don't really want Ish to shine like that, bro. I do feel that way. Like, now granted, you gotta give him respect because he put Ish in that position to shine on the podcast level type shit. So you gotta give respect to Joe Buttons for that. But like, the fact that he can't see how dope Ish is silly. And if he really wanted to get the best of Ish, he would have never added Melissa Ford. Now granted, he could have been adding Melissa Ford thinking that he was gonna get some spicy ass stories, but like, at this point, Melissa Ford, like, she been off the podcast. Think about it, the free episode, and I think the Patreon too, Danny was breaking it down. It was no Melissa Ford. Them Jones was some of the most best podcasts that we had in the Joe Button sphere in a minute, bro. Real shit. Non-guest related, because they brought the Magician Bowl on there, Hypnosis Bowl. Like, fuck is you doing, bro? I don't care if he guessing if this nigga fucking Ice love Chris Brown. But you know what I mean? They switching it up. Some niggas might fuck with it. I ain't gonna critique it too much because who am I? Like, Joe Buttons and them quick to say like, oh nigga, you got 12 views. So they right. Who am I to critique? But it's just like, nigga, without Melissa Ford on the show was popping. And I'm not gonna lie. Like, I fuck with how Ish and Mark Lamont Hill communicate on levels. Like, when they be talking, it don't come off as like like they challenging each other. It really comes off like I don't know how long they known each other. It really come off as like two homies just talking type shit. Like me and my best friend was talking about Asante Samuel and Deion Sanders, and we not on no argumentative shit. Even if we got different perspectives, like we both bouncing off different shit. Like, yo, what about this? What about that? It's like cool. So I do like to hear Ish and Ice, not Ish and Ice, Ish and Lamont Hill go back and forth type shit. But like that nigga Joe definitely brought Lamont Hill under the impression that Lamont Hill was gonna be treating niggas, and that nigga Ish still on top. No Diddy. Y'all gotta put respect on my man's name, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I ain't got no Ish cape or nothing. That nigga, he carries shit, bro. He's nice with it. Could he be better? Yeah, we all could be better. That nigga Ish, from going to building houses and skyscrapers, and I heard that his ancestors worked on Noah's boat, to being on a podcast, one of the most important podcasts in the black community, and one of the most important podcasts in any community. I don't give a fuck what y'all say, bro. I don't care, bro. Joe Rogan got numbers because there's more white people in America than black people, bro. That nigga Joe Buttons is that nigga, bro. And unlike Joe Rogan, and I used to listen to hella Joe Rogan, that nigga Joe Buttons, he don't got to flip-flop with who he is. Like him or hate him, that nigga is who he say he is, bro. Every way he fuck up, he don't try to cover it up or nothing like that. That nigga will hold himself accountable type shit. Now, some of the shit he just oblivious to because he an arrogant nigga, bro. But I don't give a fuck. Like, the nigga can be arrogant. He did a lot out here, bro. I got respect for that nigga. A lot of y'all might not fuck with Joe Buttons how I fuck with Joe Buttons, but like, he has carried it a certain way his whole career, so you gotta respect it. You know what I mean? But I wish he could just see and take whatever that relationship, rivalry him and Ish got. Joe gotta get off of that shit, bro. It's not a person in podcasting that he could bring in to that show that is better than Ish. It's just not happening, bro. It's just not happening. He could bring in Mark Lamont Hill, Grant Hill, Stephen Hill, King of the Hill, Ish and Six. That's all I gotta say, bro.